Welcome to Books and Booze, a bookish and wine-induced podcast from two book lovers who have never met. That is the power of the internet.
Hello everybody, it's an early morning here in Sydney and Brisbane. This is Books and Booze and I am Chiara.
And I am hungover.
So, this is our first recording with someone hungover.
Yeah, I have coffee. That is my drink of the day.
What did you do last night?
It's a thing called River Fire. I don't know if you have that in Sydney.
Mm-mm.
I don't actually know what it symbolises, but there were like fighter jets going over Brisbane and so many beautiful fireworks off of the Brisbane Bridge. What is it called? Story Bridge. And just amazing, like fun. Yeah, so we did that, and it was the grand final in football. Yes, that's the one. Mark's like, what? Football?
Because there's another one tonight. There's an NRL. NRL.
Rugby. Yeah,
which
we were
is
supposed to be having a quiet night in tonight, and Mark's like, can we do that tomorrow night? I'm like, no. What about you?
I didn't do anything super exciting last night, but I did want to tell a little story that I haven't told you yet.
What?
So
you were like giggling, what's going on?
So Tuesday morning, right? I was super excited because a new episode of the Dax Shepherd podcast dropped, right? And he was doing Good Place Week. So have you watched Good Place? Show The Good Place? It's a show with his wife, Kristen Bell, and it's got Ted Danson in it. But anyway, he was going to interview a bunch of people from The Good Place and, like, release an episode a day for the whole week. So on Tuesday, it was the Ted Danson episode, and I was driving to work, and they were talking about, do you know who Ted Danson is?
No.
He's the guy on Cheers. I don't know if you ever watched Cheers or anything like that. You'd know him if you saw him. So Cheers was on the air quite a long time ago. But anyway, they were talking about if, like, because he was apparently a sex symbol of his time, the character on Cheers and Ted Danson. Wow. And so I was driving along thinking, I wonder if I think he's attractive, like being an idiot, and I drove into the back of a truck.
Oh, shit.
And I just felt so stupid because, like, it was completely my fault. There was no damage, so I was completely fine. The truck driver was completely fine. There's a little bit of damage, and it was Mitch's car, not mine, so I felt really bad. So there was a little bit of damage to the car, but it was just more damage to my ego because I had to tell. They were like, "What were we doing?" And I'm like, thinking about Ted Danson. They're like, "What?" I'm like, "Yeah, I know."
Huge. Yeah. Oh, Chiara.
So that was my week. So this is a PSA to maybe when you're listening to podcasts and driving, just make sure you're not fantasizing about an old 70s, 80s icon.
My ego was shattered a long time ago, but one time I was like, there was a big cycle race in Knysna, where I'm from in South Africa. And I was so busy looking at all these cyclists' asses, male, don't worry, and I turned and I was watching them and I walked right into a stop sign and I had a huge gash down my forehead.
It just shows you that you should sometimes really pay attention to what you're doing.
Please, actually, if you are listening to this, can you please send us your funny stories of when your ego was shattered? I think that would be really funny.
Yeah. So
I would like that.
That would be really funny. So yeah, make me feel better about myself. And it's funny because, like, I told Mitch and he's like, "What were you doing?" And I was like, "I was thinking about Ted Danson." He's like, "What?" I was like, "I know." And he really likes Ted Danson, so I'm sure he kind of understands. And he just was like, "You have to tell people on the podcast." I was like, "Really?" He's like, "Yeah, it's pretty funny. You should share, like, parts of yourself that are stupid like that." And I was like, okay. And so that's why I was like, because normally I'd tell you something like that.
Yes.
Like when it happened, but I was like, oh, I'll keep it a surprise because I knew we were recording on the weekend.
Awesome. Well, thank you for sharing. I'm glad you're okay.
Yeah,
Very
I'm
much.
completely fine, other than just a little bit of a bruised ego and having my work friends laugh at me mercilessly.
Yeah.
It's okay. I deserve it. So what are we talking about today, Jade?
We recently did a reread of Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone. I was very hesitant about it because, I don't have many memories from my childhood, but one thing I remember is just how much I loved bath time with my mum, and we would do bubble baths, and in between her, basically counting how long I could hold my breath underwater, she would be reading Harry Potter to me. And I loved the book so, so much. And so I was really worried about picking it up again and ruining how wonderful it was from my childhood. But yeah, you convinced me to give it a go. And today we're talking about what we think of the book all these years later.
Okay. So for anyone who doesn't know the premise of Harry Potter, basically, if you've been, I don't know, living under a rock or you were in a coma for maybe, I don't know, what is it, 20 years? It could happen. So we reread Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone, or Sorcerers for you Americans, which is the first book in the J.K. Rowling series.
Yes.
So basically, we follow around Harry Potter, a young wizard who discovers his magical heritage on his 11th birthday when he receives his acceptance letter to Hogwarts. Mm-hmm. Harry makes close friends and a few enemies during his first year at the school. With the help of his friends, Harry faces an attempted comeback by Lord Voldemort, who killed Harry's parents and attempted to kill Harry at just 15 months old.
What a bastard.
What a jerk. Rowling's writing has been favourably reviewed as imaginative, humorous, simple, direct, with clever plots. But Harry Potter definitely had its fair share of critics, mainly religious groups, which got the book banned in some countries because of accusations that the book promoted witchcraft under the guise of heroic moral stories. I think it's actually book banning month or book banning week or something like that, because I've seen a lot of people that are reading books that have been banned, so it's quite topical at the moment.
That's good.
Yes.
Oh, my head. Okay.
So did you want to go first and kind of talk, because you listened to the audiobook and I read the book. Yeah, I read that. It took me like 2 days.
Yeah.
It's so fast, the first one.
Yeah, it's really, really quick.
In it.
I was absolutely amazed. So I was really hesitant, but I was enthralled by this book. I did it cover to cover in one day. I did listen to it on audio on a little bit of a higher speed. It was narrated by Stephen Fry, who is fantastic.
He's so good at it.
Yeah, I've heard that there's two narrators.
Yeah, Jim Dale is the other one.
Stephen Fry is the one to go for.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think Jim Dale does the American version.
Fry.
I think, but that one's quite good too, because I've actually heard both, and he's, to his credit, he's quite good as well. Yeah.
Well, I mean, I was just completely transported back into the world of Hogwarts. It was incredible, it felt like I was a child again just for that day that I read it. I was transported to a time before all this bullshit got taken over in my life with worries and drama and stuff. It was just, I was just amazed, and the writing was fantastic.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe it. I didn't feel like I was reading a young book that I read when I was a child.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it really also, it doesn't feel like it's dated, considering that it was 20 years ago. Yeah. It doesn't feel like it was written 20 years ago.
Yeah, it just felt like you could read this at any age of your life. I think, if I'm a grandmother one day, I would still want to pick this book up. It really is so diverse.
Yeah.
And it could be for a man or a woman. It's just wonderful. It's not, there isn't a specific target market for this novel at all.
No, I don't think so at all. And it's nice as well, because it gives you that nice warm fuzzy nostalgia feeling, because it does remind you of your childhood.
Yeah. And also, I mean, so you know me, I hate fantasy books. I'm just not a fan. But, and I was fascinated by this book. I was just completely sucked in to the world of witchcraft and wizardry, goblins and unicorns, giants and poltergeists. It was fabulous. I loved it. I never reread books as well, but I will definitely be rereading this book again in the future.
Yeah. So we will probably continue on our reread. Maybe like we'll do another one in December or something like that, and we'll just slowly get through them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, needless to say, 5 big goblets of wine from me, but I don't really want to think about wine right now.
Okay. So I've jotted down a few little talking points, but you touched on one, so you were talking about like the world. So like we're introduced to things like wands and broomsticks, the invisibility cloak, the remember all, the sorting hat, owls and ghosts. Yeah. And I think that like she does a really good job at creating this world. None of it seems too far-fetched.
No, not at all. It was like, I don't know how to describe it. It's not subtle, but it was just so perfectly woven.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Who was your favorite character in the book?
Oh, gosh. You didn't tell me this was a question. Oh, okay. Trying to think. I really liked Hermione.
Yeah.
She was really cool. And I mean, obviously Harry, but I think Hagrid as well. He kind of stole my heart again.
He's so sweet, isn't he?
Yeah. I really, really enjoyed the moments with Hagrid. Yeah. I think it'll change as I read the other books with our buddy reads that we do, and I'll find a character that I really attach myself to. But yeah, I have to say, yeah, probably it's Hagrid. Hagrid's my favorite.
I know, and Hagrid's the first person that's kind of nice to Harry because all you see is the Dursleys.
Yeah.
So, and because you feel, he gives you the warm fuzzies because you really feel for Harry because he's in that shitty environment.
Yeah. You don't get much of Albus Dumbledore.
No, you don't. I guess that's to come later. I love all the Weasleys. I just love that big messy family.
Yeah. Yeah, the twins are great.
I love the twins. Fred has always been my favourite character. I don't know why. I don't know why I picked one of the twins, but I love Fred and I love Ron. He like provides so much humour in the books.
Yes. Yeah, I mean, the movies, Ron is my favourite by far. I know that.
Rupert Grint is fantastic as Ron.
I adore him, but in the book I didn't find it quite as funny. Yeah. As I found the movies, but hopefully I'll attach myself to Ron in the books again because he is my favourite from the movies.
And did you have a least favourite?
Oh gosh, probably Draco.
Yeah, Draco's a nice little piece of work, isn't he?
Yeah,
he's just like that arrogant kid at school that you just like rolling your eyes at all the time. Hey.
Yeah, it's that or Dudley. I mean, I actually really found Petunia and what's the dad called?
Vernon.
Oh, Vernon, yeah. I found them quite funny and entertaining, but
because they're just so scared.
Yeah, but like Dudley was just a pig. I hated him.
Yeah. So mine is Filch, the caretaker.
Yeah.
He's just always just mean for the sake of being mean because he's just miserable in his job.
Yeah, he's a scraggly fucker.
Yeah, and the cat that just like dobs on everyone.
Yes. Yep. Okay. What other questions are you going to throw at me?
Okay, which pet would you choose? Because you know how Harry gets, so you get the choice of a toad, a cat, or an owl.
Obviously, I choose cat. I love cats.
Choose cat?
Yep.
I think I'd choose an owl. I think I'd choose an owl.
Yeah, my cat will eat your owl. What would you call it?
I don't know. I saw, I was listening to something and someone named their pet Goldie, and I thought a Goldie was a really cute name for a pet.
Yeah. Wait, I'd call my cat Jinx.
Jinx? That's a cute name.
We were actually talking yesterday, Mark and I, because obviously I really want a collie dog one day, and we finally decided on a name. So we were watching the news yesterday, and there was this horrific tsunami in Indonesia. I'm not sure if you heard about it. But then right after this breaking news about the tsunami, they were like, but in better news, like a whole bunch of panda cubs are in good health, and they showed all these beautiful little baby pandas on the TV, like I think in China, and I was like, okay, I'm calling my black and white collie dog Panda.
That's cute. There's been a lot of like really cute animal news actually. There was drone footage, I think it was in Newcastle, and they're like of whales and dolphins playing in the ocean.
Yes.
I thought that was really cute. But then there was really funny footage on the news the other day of these men were in like canoes or like little boats or something, and then this I think it was like a seal comes up, and then he slaps the man in the face with an octopus.
Yes, I saw that.
Did you see that?
It was so funny. He's like canoeing along with his mates. Next thing is like, wham!
Hit in the face with an octopus by a seal. It was one of the funniest things I think I've ever seen.
I can't believe they got to actually get that on tape too. You know those moments where you're like, God, I wish I had that recorded, and you never do. Like that was
because would you believe someone? So like if Mark was like, I went fishing, or if Mitch says to me, I went fishing and the seal popped out of the water and he hit me in the face with an octopus, I do not think I would believe them.
No. I know that Mark got hit in the head with a fish, didn't you, Mark? Mark? Did you get hit in the head with a fish? No? Oh, never mind. Someone I know got hit in the head with a fish while they were fishing and had to get stitches.
Ooh.
Yeah. I can't remember who that was.
But I reckon it would really hurt being hit in the head by an octopus. Because he doesn't like gently slap the man. Anyone
It was
who's
a big ass tentacle.
Anyone who's listening, please look it up because it is so cute. It's so fun.
Seals
just get out of our water.
Yeah. That's like the biggest slap in the face, literally. So funny. Do you have any other Harry Potter-y questions?
I wanted to talk about, so you touched briefly on Dumbledore, but did you want to talk about Snape quickly and what your opinions of Snape were? Because obviously he is such a big character in the later books and movies.
Yeah, I mean, so obviously I don't really want to spoil it for anyone that somehow hasn't read it, but the first book, obviously, I hate Snape, but
she does a good job.
Yeah, I think that he's a really important element to the book.
Yeah.
And he really tests Harry too.
Well, he does, and we know that he knows, we know he went to school with Harry's parents.
Yeah.
Or at least Harry's dad. So we kind of know that there's a connection there. And like Harry is just well aware of the fact that Snape doesn't like him.
Yes. But there is
and he's
good
just
reason.
Mean. Isn't he?
Yeah. Yeah, he's very spiteful and vengeful. I think. He's just like, he's a nasty, I was going to say human being, a nasty wizard.
And the movies. Have you seen the movies?
I've seen most of the movies, but I do have to say, I haven't finished reading the Harry Potter books. I gave up when I got older. I just stopped reading them. So I stopped watching the films too.
Yeah.
So when we go along... Sorry?
So it's going to be new for you.
Well, I kind of know what happens.
Yeah.
Because obviously it's been spoiled, like people have told me.
Yeah.
And also I've read Harry Potter and the Cursed Child.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I know what happens to the characters and who they end up with and all that jazz. But yeah, so I do really enjoy the first movie. I get hungry every time I watch it because it's that beautiful food.
So what was the book that you finished? Like the last book you read?
I have no idea. I think it must have been maybe Deathly Hallows Part 1.
Okay.
Maybe?
Okay.
I don't know. I honestly have no idea. So it's going to be really interesting as we go along in this buddy read for me to actually read the books for the first time.
Yeah.
But yeah, I definitely read The Chamber of Secrets, The Prisoner of Azkaban, Goblet of Fire. I know I've read those.
Okay.
Yeah.
Alright, cool. Well, that's exciting.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I think that's all kind of the questions that I had. Did you have any questions or any talking points?
No, I can't figure it out. I'm just like, I'm dead. So do you have any other things that you want to say about the book, your opinions?
I don't think so. Like, I really enjoyed it.
It's hard, isn't it? Like, you're like, well, what is there to say? It's fantastic.
Yeah, it really is. And I'm glad that we're kind of rereading it. So I chose to read it rather than listening to the audiobook because I haven't actually read it in a really long time. I'm the opposite to you. I've listened to the audiobook quite often because if I don't have something to listen to in the car, I'm like, I'll just put this on. But it has been a few years since I've kind of listened to it again over.
Yeah. Yeah, okay. Oh, I want to reread them physically as well, but I want to save up and buy a set of the books. So I want to get the whole set.
I've got a few ones that I collect. So I've got my originals that I got, and then I started collecting the illustrated editions.
Oh yeah, they're beautiful.
And then I also collect the Ravenclaw editions.
Yeah, I should probably get the Ravenclaw ones.
They're really cute, actually, and they've got like all these fun facts about the Ravenclaw house and famous Ravenclaws, and they've got like about the ghost and all that sort of stuff. So that's quite fun.
Yeah, I do have to say, I don't like that Jeeves the Poltergeist is not in the movies.
Yeah, there's a lot that like they don't put in the movies. The first one, not as much. But because he's such a big character.
Yeah, I think he's in the first book, isn't he?
He is, yeah. Yeah, so he's there when they first kind of get to the school, and he's there when they get locked in the room, kind of.
Yeah, so I remember in the when I first saw the movie, I was really upset that Jeeves wasn't a part of it, because I remember him being one of my favourite characters, but when I was a kid.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I know. I wonder why they chose not to put him in.
Yeah, there's a few bits that I was just a little bit sad with, but it's still fantastic. But I hate it when they change things in books and movie adaptations. So, did you watch the other buddy read pick A Simple Favor by Darcy Bell? Did you watch the movie last night?
No, we didn't end up going.
Oh, okay. So I don't want to say too much until you've seen it, but the book to movie adaptation is so different that it's like they completely rewrote it, and just weird. Don't like it when they change it too much.
But I wonder what the point of completely changing it is and then calling it the same.
Yeah, I know. I was like, what the hell? This is not what happened. But anyway, this is a Harry Potter episode. I'll save it for boozy banter in our next episode.
Yes. Okay. Well, I think that's kind of all I have today. Did you have anything else?
No, I think that's it. We're going to save up. This is like a little mini-sode. We're going to do mini-sodes for our buddy read picks where we just talk about the book and maybe one or two funny things from our lives, like crashing into cars and bumping into stop signs and bruising our egos. But so these are just like shorter mini-sodes.
Yeah.
So we enjoy it.
We do. And make sure you send in any funny stories that you have.
Yes, that would be really funny. Where do they send it to, Chiara?
They can send it to our email. So hello@booksboozepod.com.
Yes, perfect.
Yeah. Or you can direct message it to us on Instagram, which is @booksboozepod. Yeah. And where can people find you?
They can find us at BooksBoozPod on Instagram and on Twitter, but I am very, very slack at the Twitter. So Instagram's like our main hub, and then my personal Instagram is boho_bookworm, and Chiara is bookish.kiki.
Yep, that's
it. Is KIKI.
KIKI. All right. Okay.
So are we gonna go on to Chamber of Secrets? Like, are we just gonna get into it, or?
I think so. Do you want to start it right away, or do you want to maybe wait till closer to Christmas, or?
I think give me a few weeks.
Yeah, because we've got quite a few with the Halloweeny reads.
Yeah, I think October I just need to focus on some other books, but then maybe in November. Yeah, we'll do the reread of Chamber of Secrets.
Yep, sounds good.
Awesome.
Okay.
Cool. We'll see you next time, guys.
Bye.
Bye.